Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Drafts Baseball's live commentary of the DuPont Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you a battle of the top two teams in the Pacific League. It'll be the Orix Buffaloes and the Saitama Seibu Lions. We've been away from a little bit as we have been out of town. We've been doing a little bit of work and involved in some other stuff in the areas that we live, have been away from calling the games. We are going to be getting some more action coming in here over the next month or so, as we will be switching to interleague play, and we'll be doing some late night stuff once the interleague play gets going in another week or so. And so that'll be the fun time of the year where they have the crossover games. Usually it's the unofficial halfway point of the season will be that when it comes to an end. We're going to have the starting lineups, first of all, for the visitors, the Orix Buffaloes tonight. Leading off and in right field is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. Batting second and in left field is number 7, Ryoma Nishikawa. Hitting third and doing the designated hitting is number 4, Tomoya Mori. In the cleanup spot and playing first base is number 25, Ho Naito. Batting in the fifth spot is the third baseman, number 6, Yuma Mune. Hitting in the sixth spot and playing shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. Batting seventh at second base is number 9, Tomoya Noguchi. Hitting eighth and doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And batting ninth in center field, wearing number 0, is Haruto Watanabe. And they're going to be facing So Sato, who takes to the hill. He is 1-0 on the year. He has worked 16 2/3 innings, allowed 11 hits, 6 runs, all of which have been earned, walking 5, striking out 13, while pitching to an ERA of 3.24. Well, that's your starting lineup for the visitors from Osaka. Now your starting lineup for the Saitama Seibu Lions. Leading off and in right field tonight is number 28, Alexander Canario. Batting second at second base is number 62, Natsuo Takazawa. Hitting third and playing third base is number 8, Seiya Watanabe. And the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 26, Tyler Nevin. Batting fifth and doing the catching is number 10, Taiga Kojima. Batting in the sixth spot and at first base is number 39, Taiga Hirasawa. Hitting seventh in left field is number 63, Shinya Hasegawa. Hitting eighth at shortstop is number 6, Sosuke Genda, and batting ninth, the center fielder, number 51, Manaya Nishikawa. And they're going to be facing the left-hander, Taito Takashima, who takes to the hill with a 3-0 record. He's worked 32 in the third innings, allowed 29 hits, 10 runs, all have been earned, walking 7, striking out 24, and pitching to an ERA of 2.78. Well, Takashima has just completed his tune-up tosses, and we are about ready to get this one underway, as it will be Nakagawa, Nishikawa, and Mori to come to bat to get things going here for the Buffaloes. Our friend 500 Shows Deep has stuck his head in here tonight, and we are glad you could be here with us, and everybody else who will be listening along with us as well. So the left-hander, Sato, ready to go here as Kai Nakagawa steps in, hitting 260 on the year with a couple of homers and 17 runs batted in. First pitch on the way from the lefty is a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Nakagawa. Underway at officially 2:01, a local time, or 14:01 if you're on the military time. Our friend God is Great is here. Breaking ball swung on, and this is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats on the first base side of home plate. The count goes to 0-2. It is a good night for baseball in Japan, and of course, these two teams at the top part of the standings, as both the Lions and the Buffaloes are running 1-2. Buffaloes in first place. Lions find themselves nestled behind in second. There's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. Rounding out the Pacific League standings, the Fighters are holding down the third spot. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks are out of a playoff position for the time being. They're in fourth. Chiba has crawled out of the cellar, and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles have been on a bit of a free fall as they are in last place. Breaking ball misses outside. It's now 2-2 to Nakagawa. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Sato getting his sign, working from the left-handed side as he's ready to deliver to Kojima. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted foul. And the count now remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Sato gets a new baseball, ready to go again. As he leans in and nods in agreement as he works himself into the set position. Here comes the 2-2. Kicks and fires, fastball swung on, grounded foul just past the bag at third base, and the count remains at 2-2. Friend God is Great says, yep, it's 2 in the afternoon in Japan. And it is 10 o'clock at night on the West Coast, or 1 a.m. Eastern, wherever you're listening in North America. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nakagawa. Has the lefty ready to go again. Sato ready to fire. Kicks and delivers. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count now goes to 3-2. Our friend eBay Clerk in the house tonight says, what's up? Glad you can make it in. Thank you for stopping by. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. We're going to be back on with the same 2 teams tomorrow night, so hopefully you guys can pop in for that as well. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up over on the right side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is the first baseman, Hirasawa. He's there to make the catch, and that's going to retire Nakagawa for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away here for the Buffaloes. And that's going to bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. Looking ahead to tomorrow night, as these same 2 teams will get the getaway game in. It'll be the 3rd game of the series. The pitching matchups for tomorrow night, it is going to be for the Lions. They're going to send to the hill tomorrow. Looks like it's going to be Austin Wins. I'll have to double check on that. Yes, that, I believe, is who they are going to roll up. Sorry, Alan Winans is the one who is going to be starting. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 1-1 to Nishikawa. And they will be countered by Yamaoka, who will take to the hill for the Buffaloes tomorrow night. So that'll be interesting to see. It'll be Daisuke Yamaoka. I haven't seen him this year. It'll be his first appearance of the season. Of course, Yamaoka last year was involved in some issues. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Nishikawa. There were some gambling issues prior to the start of the season. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is, as Nishikawa waiting on the offering here from the lefty Sato, who kicks and fires. Has a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We will post up the schedule. Same time tomorrow night for the same 2 teams. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is as the lefty delivers. Sato delivers it swung. It's lifted into left field, moving over to his left. And then throwing on the brakes and making the catch is Hasegawa, and that is going to retire Nishikawa for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 gone, and it'll leave it up to the designated hitter in Tomoya Mori. Well, for Mori, comes to the plate hitting .254 on the season. He's got 4 homers and 16 RBIs. Batting it from the left side. Very aggressive first pitch swinger, so you got to be delicate with him. Pitch on the way, fastball at the knees, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Uncharacteristically taking that strike. Buffalo's in their in their road darks. They're wearing gray pants tonight. Can't remember the last time I've seen them in gray pants. And there's a fastball that misses down and away. 1-1 to Mori. Around the horn, or around the outfield from left to right tonight for the Lions, it's Hasegawa and left, the center fielder Nishikawa, and right field it's Canario. Around the horn from first to third, it's Hirasawa at first. Takazawa is at second. At short, it is Genda, and at third, it is Watanabe, with the battery of Sato and Kojima. Breaking ball drops in for a call strike, and the count's now 1-2 to Tomoya Mori. Lefty now kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses outside, and the count goes to 2-2 on Mori. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Honaido hitting his turn on deck. Should the Buffaloes be able to see him getting a start tonight? Big, thick first baseman. Here's the pitch. Fastball, and it's knifed foul into the seats over on the third base side, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Sato ready to go back to work. Getting that new baseball, the 2-2 on the way to Maury. Kicks and delivers. Breaking ball. Swung on and missed, and Maury is in the books. He's gone for out number 3. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes. But they made Sato work in the first inning. 19 pitches is when he had to throw. But he does get the side in order, 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. Your score as we are through a half inning in the books. It is the Buffaloes, no score, and the Lions coming to bat. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Our friend Johnny Timing is in the house. He says salute. And a salute to you as well. We appreciate you for being here. We'll be back in just a moment. We got ourselves a scoreline of 0-0. It is going to be the Lions coming to bat in just a couple of moments. And we'll introduce you to our good friend, Steve Rademacher.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name. And I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order. Canario, Takizawa, and Watanabe coming to bat here. Our friend eBay Clerk says, who do you think is going to win this game here tonight? That's a good question. I think the way both of these teams are playing, I think the Lions are going to get at least a win in these next 2 games. It could be tonight, and I just don't know where Sato fits in. Sato's only had 3 starts this year. On paper, it looks like that Takashima, who has worked a lot more, would be the guy, but I just have a feeling that the Lions might be able to pull one out. First pitch delivered to Canario, swung on, grounded to short. Taken on a couple of hops by Kirby-Yashi. He throws to first. It's a ground out, 6-3 for the first out of the inning. So I'm leaning Lions tonight. When I looked at the pitching matchup tonight, I looked at it and I said, well, I don't know if I would go either way. Takashima has not gone over 92 pitches in his 6 starts. Usually he has gone between 80 and 90 as he is getting the start here tonight. But that's a good way to get things going. 1 pitch and 1 away. Here comes the first offering to Takizawa. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Takizawa hitting .273 on the year with a homer and 12 runs batted in. Shave in the house. He says, just a rolling off of work and happy to be here. And we're glad you could make it here as well. Fastball misses down and the count goes to 1-1. So I do think I am leaning, as I said, toward the Lions in this one tonight. Good, healthy crowd. They're squaring to bunt is Takizawa. He pulls back and he takes a breaking ball for a called strike. Count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Looking forward to be back again on the airwaves tomorrow night. Same 2 teams, same channel. Hopefully you guys can come on back in for another round of this. Fastball misses down and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Had the opportunity last little bit to be able to get down and see some major league and some minor league action. There's a fastball taken for a called 3rd strike. Takizawa down on strikes. He's gone for out number 2, and that's going to leave it up to the 3rd baseman in Seiya Watanabe. Well, certainly if we get this kind of performance from both of these pitchers, it could be a quick ball game here tonight. As the obviously the first team being the Buffaloes went down 1-2-3 in their time to bat. And the Lions here in their situation, as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, count is 0-1, are right now set up to do the same. Watanabe hitting .250 with those 4 homers and 19 runs batted in, hitting from the right side here. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses off the outside corner. Count runs even to 1-1. It is Tuesday of next week is when interleague play begins, and we will have the action for you. We're going to start calling the interleague play stuff in the middle of the night. Hopefully you guys can be up there with us. Love to have you in the house. All the action gets going on Tuesday. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball on the way, swung on and pounded through the 4-hole the other way. That's the first base runner in the ballgame as Seiya Watanabe's got himself a single. Good piece of hitting by Watanabe, staying inside the ball and going the other way with it. He's aboard the runner at first. That's going to bring up Tyler Nevin to the plate. And Tyler Nevin has absolutely been on fire. As he has started this season, he was hurt to begin the year, but boy, has he not skipped a beat since joining the team in their lineup. He entering tonight's game, hitting .404. He's got 7 homers and 57 at-bats. He's driven in 15 runs. He is slugging at .470, and he's on base, plus slugging is over 1,300. Here comes the first pitch to Nevin. Fastball on the way, hammered foul. He's probably upset that he just missed that one. Count no balls and 1 strike. Tyler Nevin, the son of Phil Nevin, who was a Golden Spikes winner when he played his college baseball, had a lengthy Major League Baseball career with a number of teams, was also the manager of the Los Angeles Angels. Not sure after Mike Scioscia left that that's a mantle that many people would like to have. Here's the 0-1. It's a fastball that just misses outside. Count runs even to 1-1 on Nevin. Ball and 1 strike. Very healthy crowd for this one. And to Korozawa for the Lions and the Buffaloes. And a boisterous crowd in the afternoon. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, as the right-hander works himself into the set position. Here comes the 1-1. On the way, breaking ball swung on and grounded foul just past the third base coach's box. Now it runs the count now to 1-2 on Nevin. Tink in the house tonight says, what team do you like? We were asked that earlier by our friend eBay Clerk, and I said, I like the Lions tonight. I'm leaning to them. I wouldn't necessarily, I wouldn't put the house on it, but if I had a choice, I would sprinkle a little bit on the Lions. Here comes the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, and he's going to get it off the end of the bat. Is he going to get in there? It's going to drop into shallow right field. Racing it down is the second baseman, Noguchi. And that is going to put Watanabe all the way around to third. So a bleeder, looks like a line drive in the box score, but Nevin able to fight it off. He's got himself a single. That puts runners on the corners, and it's going to bring Taiga Kojima to the plate with 2 gone and first and third base occupied. Well, defensively tonight for the Buffaloes from left to right field, it is Nishikawa in left. The center fielder is Watanabe. In right field, it is Nakagawa. Around the horn from first to third, Naito at first, Noguchi at second, Kobayashi at short, and Mune at third, with the battery of Takashima and Wakatsuki. So our friend eBay Clerk asks the $1 million question, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Here comes the pitch. On its way, breaking ball misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Kojima. We'll do this once, and we'll do it only one time, so we'll send everybody back to this point in time. The broadcast schedule for tonight, if you want to watch it on TV, it is Fuji TV 2. If you want to do some online streaming, well, you could go to DAZN, you could go to Rakuten TV, Baseball Live, or Fuji TV 2 Smart. Fastball swung on, chopped slowly over to the first base side. It's foul. Count goes even at 1-1 to Kojima. And so when anybody asks, we'll just tell them, go back to the 20-minute mark or the 19:30 mark, and that'll tell you all you need to know. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kojima as he's hitting here from the left side against the right-handed throwing Takashima. Leans in and gets the sign. He comes to the set position. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled off into the mid of the catcher, Wakatsuki, running the count now to 1-2. Tink says, do you think it'll be a high-scoring game? To be honest with you, no, I don't. I think this game, and I guess it depends on what you think a high-scoring is. I didn't check the over-under tonight for the ball game. I would guess, if I was guessing what the over-under would be, I'm going to think maybe 5.5 or maybe 6.5 in this one. I would probably lean the under. But in saying that, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, that's always the question as well. So I didn't see the over-under to give you a realistic answer. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. And some people might have the different features when the game is live and rolling live. It might be changing depending upon the scoring, of course. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kojima. As the right-hander again works to the set. Here comes the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses way upstairs. Count goes now 2-2 to Kojima. If there was a pitch to put Nevin in motion, Nevin doesn't run a lot. Doesn't have any stolen bases on the year. He's not exactly the most fleet of foot. If there's a pitch to keep an eye on, I'd be keeping an eye on him here, maybe to stay out of a potential force at 2-2. Definitely will be in motion at 3-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. On its way. Fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left center field. This ball could be trouble. Coming hard is Watanabe. He slides and he makes the catch. What a play by the center fielder, Watanabe, and that is going to retire Kojima for the 3rd out of the inning. Oh, the Lions threatened, but they don't score. No runs in the inning. There was a pair of hits. No errors and 2 left the board. We are through 1 complete inning. It is the Buffaloes no score and the Lions no score. Stay with us, everybody. The top of the second is just around the corner. We're glad you could join us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we know it is going to be a good ball game here. Nothing between the Lions and the Buffaloes as we move to the top of the second inning. Full slate of games around the NPB tonight, and we'll keep you updated on those. Last night between these two teams, the Buffaloes knocked off the Lions 5-1. It was Sean Hidjelli picking up the win for the Buffaloes last night. It was Samita who took the loss for the Lions. So I do think that tonight it'll be the Lions to rebound, as I said before, but I'm not overly confident on it. But I do think this is their game to win. First pitch breaking ball delivered to Naito, swung on and fouled away. Count 0-1. Naito 2 for 20 on the season, batting an even 100. Hitting in the cleanup spot. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. Last night's ball game lasted 3 hours and 2 minutes. It was a quick ball game. There was a fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the third base coach's box, and the count remains at 1-2. Yeah, 27,428 in attendance for last night's game. And if I had to be a betting man today, I think that might be exceeded. Very healthy crowd, possibly pushing the 30,000 mark. Worthwhile getting out to watch the Lions as they're playing some good ball. Fastball that just misses inside. Count goes to 2-2 on Naito. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sato again kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes to 3-2. Our friend eBay Clerk says, do I need a membership to watch? On some of the channels you might, yeah. If you have a VPN, you can get through on some of them. Fastball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. Or is it? Yeah, it looks like it is, and it's going to break the bat. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So 3-2 it remains here at Naito. So sometimes, too, our friend eBay Clark asked the question, yeah, it depends on what channel you're going to. Sometimes you got to navigate. If you're speaking in English, you got to translate the pages. All kinds of stuff goes on with that. That is for sure. But at the same time, too, there are opportunities for you to get the free feeds. There were some people that were saying, if you're in the United States, that there were a couple of gambling houses, I want to say Betway or Bet365 last year, that would show the games, but you had to put your credit card down and put some money down. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. You can actually watch the games live through their channel because people would live bet be able to see it. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it remains to Naito here. Batting from the right side here against the lefty Sato, who works himself again to the set position. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and Naito is down on strikes. He's out for out number 1, and is going to bring up the third baseman in Yuma Mune. Well, for Mune, batting an even 250 on the season, 5 homers and 16 runs batted in. Last time we watched the Buffaloes, he's been all over the batting order, at the top, at the bottom. And they've got him slotted into the 5 spot here tonight. So batting from the left side here against the lefty Sato, who delivers a breaking ball that almost comes in and hits Mune. So 1 ball and no strikes. He rolled into the pitch, but the pitch did not roll into him. Slick fielding third baseman of the Buffaloes. He is able to give some offensive punch. That is an added bonus for the Buffs. Here's the 1-0. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1 on Mune. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the lefty working himself into the set position, and the pitch on the way. Fastball misses just outside. The count now goes to 2-1 on Mune. Looking at the power in the lineup tonight for the Buffaloes, Mune is the leading home run hitter for the Buffaloes. He's got 5. Kobayashi and Mori have 4 each. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Mune. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Again, the lefty working to the set. And the 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded to the left side of the infield. Stopped by Genda, but he's not able to make the play on the backhand side. That's going to be an infield hit for Mune. Even if he would have fielded it, I don't think Genda's going to have the arm strength to go across the diamond to throw him out, as that ball was hit deep into the 6 hole. So Mune is aboard. That is the first base runner here for the Buffaloes in this one. And that is going to bring Kentaro Kobayashi to the plate. Maybe a younger Genda would have been able to get to it. He had to really stretch on his backhand side, but certainly unable to do anything other than knock it down. So Mune aboard as the runner at first, and Kobayashi coming to the plate. Kobayashi starting to pick it up as late. He had a really rough start to the season. He's hitting .231 with 4 homers and 11 RBIs. Lefty delivers. Fastball taken on the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. I have to confess, though, I really don't like the way that Kobayashi swings the bat. He reminds me, he's like the HLP guys that are all over the internet thinking that you got to swing up and uppercut and whatever else. I think that Kobayashi looks like he's bought in, and his numbers are in peril. Here's the pitch. I say that sometimes as there's a fastball ticket for a call strike, counts 0-2, and I haven't seen him in a little bit, and it looks like maybe he is changing his approach at the plate a little bit. But I have to wait and see. He really has the kick up in the air, and he waits, and then I don't know if he gets his stride foot down in time. That's a bit of a problem for the timing. We'll have to watch him tonight and see if there's been some adjustments. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and popped up, just as we predicted. Over on the third base side, it's in foul territory. It's playable. Underneath it to make the catch is Watanabe. That's going to retire Kobayashi for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here. That is going to bring up the second baseman in Tomoya Noguchi. Well, for Noguchi, he's hitting .208. He's got a homer and 9 runs batted in. Mune, the runner at first, 2 gone here in the second inning. If I had to be critical of these 2 pitchers, lots of pitches thrown so far here tonight. And basically minimal base runners. Here's the pitch, but instead he throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Mune. I was saying earlier, if you're on the channel, we had posted up a short of Munetaka Murakami in one of his swings as we were in Seattle this week. Pitch on the way, fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. In our slow motion swings, as we do on our shorts, we try to post, I'd like to say every day, but we haven't been the last little bit. It has been busy times for us. So no balls and 1 strike as the lefty works again to the set position. Checks the runner, does Sato. And he throws over to first base, and easily getting back in time is the runner Mune. So 1 strike to Noguchi. They are shading the batter a little bit to the pull side. There goes the runner down to second to throw. Did he get him? Oh, I think we might have a look-see here. We're going to wait and see. Yeah, the Lions are going to want to look-see. So the throw was not the best. If this was old school baseball, the runner would have been safe because the throw from Kojima was on the right field side of second base. Genda makes a great job of picking it on the short hop, and he tags the heel of Mune. Old school, no replays. He's safe. The tag was not in a very good position, and the ball did not beat him there. But in this situation, we're going to go look at the replay, and I'm going to wait and see here. Oh, I think the Lions are going to win this one. I think this call is going to be overturned. Let's see here. Nice pick there by the shortstop, Genda. Oh, it's going to be easy overturn. I'm going to put that in the book, caught stealing. If this isn't overturned, they need to have an investigation. 2-6 for the third out of the inning. And it'll be Noguchi to lead it off in the next inning. I don't know what the umpires are taking so long for. That's a pretty easy peasy call. Let's get the headset off and get back to business here. It's not going to get any easier than that. But we'll wait for the official call, and then we'll carry on. So hang tight, everybody. They've shown it about 10 different times from about 4 different angles, and each time, to me, it's as easy as all get out. If they don't, they need to investigate the NPB. Again, the tag was on the calf. I thought it was on the ankle. What do we have here? The home plate umpire, he's on the headset. Maybe they didn't have a headset that worked. It's not like they're not in Tokyo. Maybe they're calling New York, the New York guys. But this here is as easy a call as you need to make. I don't understand in some ways why they don't bring in, here we go, here comes the home plate umpire with the decision, and up goes the right hand, and he is out as we predicted. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was nobody left the board. Your score as we're moving to the bottom of the second inning, it is 0-0 Lions and the Buffaloes. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right back after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters to come to bat for the Lions in the bottom half of inning number 2. That means Taiga Hirasawa, Shinya Hasegawa, and Sosuke Genda. As we had mentioned, both of these pitchers have not exactly been the most economical, despite the fact that there's only been a couple of runners reach base for the Lions and one for the Buffaloes. So the pitch counts are going to ratchet up early, and I have a feeling it is going to be a battle of the pens at some point here tonight. Taiga Hirasawa coming to the plate, hitting .315 on the year, a couple homers and 11 RBIs. It was 19 pitches in the first inning for the right-hander Takashima, who kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into left field. Coming in underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch is Nishikawa, and that is going to retire Hirasawa. One pitch and one away. That'll help the pitch counts. I'll bring up the left fielder in Shinya Hasegawa. Well, for Hasegawa, comes to the plate batting .259 on the year, 6 homers and 14 RBIs. Tyler Nevin with 7 homers. Hasegawa has 6. Obviously, that trumps what's the best in the Buffalo lineup. Batting from the right side, the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Hasegawa. So no balls and 1 strike. Lion fans cheering their team on as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses up and in, and the count now goes even at 1-1. Ball and 1 strike to Shinya Hasegawa. Looking for the visiting fans in this one. Usually they sit in right field, but they seem to be outgunned. There's a really slow breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2 on Hasegawa. Sosuke Genda waiting his turn on deck. Again, the right-hander Takashima holds set. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball misses down and away. Good stop there by Wakatsuki. Count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander holds himself into the set position. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on line into center field, and it's going to drop down in for a base hit. So Hasegawa's hot hitting continues as he will bring his average over 260 now on the season. So a base hit for him with 1 out. It's going to bring Sosuke Genda to the plate. Well, for Genda, he's batting an even 200 on the season. Homer and 10 RBIs. Genda, the captain, or one-time captain of the Samurai Japan. Also was the one-time captain a couple of years ago for the Lions. Here comes the pitch. Fastball misses up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Genda. No longer wearing the C on his jersey. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander looks over at the runner at first, and now he checks his sign, and now he throws over to first, and diving back in time is the runner Hasegawa. Hasegawa in the lineup tonight. There are 3 players in the Lions lineup who have 3 stolen bases: Hasegawa, Nishikawa, and Takizawa. They're not exactly a running team. Fastball swung on, grounded through the 6 hole into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Up with it is the left fielder Nishikawa. It's going to stop the runner Hasegawa at second. So we got runners at first and second. Had to go back and take a look to see if the runner was put in motion on that play. But a base hit here for Genda. That puts runners at first and second with 1 gone, and it's going to bring Manaya Nishikawa to the plate. And it didn't look like he was running on that. I have to go back and look again. Regardless, everything was in front of him, had to come to the stop. Ball was hit too hard. Our friend Johnny says Swallows are up 6 bagel in that ball game over in the Central League tonight. There's a breaking ball. I'll take it for a called strike. That is in the top of the first between Yokohama and the Swallows. The ball's 1 strike to Nishikawa. Nishikawa, as we said, hitting .211, a couple of homers, 11 RBIs. Nothing, Hawks and Fighters. 1-1 between the Eagles and Marines. Dragons up 3-1 on the Carp. Fastball misses inside. Count goes even to 1-1. All the umpires, or the plate umpires, are wearing helmets now. That's, of course, the unfortunate situation of the umpire just over a month ago who caught the backswing of a Jose Osuna swing. Last report I saw a few days ago, he was still unconscious in hospital. That's not a good thing. 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. 30-year-old umpire. The Chief says, oh my God, the Bay Stars. Yeah. Bay Stars are struggling this year. Well, they've made a big overhaul on their team. They also made a trade, although I'd have to say I haven't seen how this started to work out. They picked up I like the trade. They got Ogata from the Hawks, sending their catcher Yamamoto the other way. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Nishikawa gone on strikes for the second out of the inning. I got to tell you, I don't know if it's truth or lore. I'm curious to see. I might have to go onto Twitter, but you may have had a little earthquake here. Felt a little bit of a tremor. Nothing major and nothing sustained. But we'll have to go and take a look on Twitter and see if we had ourselves a little event. Might do that on the in-between. Here comes the first pitch to Alexander Canario, who's 0 for 1 tonight. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to the left side. It's through the 6 hole into left field. Rounding third and heading home with the first run of the game is going to be Hasegawa. Stopping at second is Genda, and the Lions have opened up an early 1-0 lead here on an RBI single off the bat of Canario. So the crowd is giving their round of applause and round of approval for the Lions. Lions playing some pretty good baseball right now. We'll take a quick peek and see if we did get ourselves a little bit of a tremor. I don't think there's anything as of right now that has popped up. But sometimes they do give that type of information. We'll have to wait and see if that is the case. So 1-0, the Lions are in the lead. As Takizawa at the plate here, he's 0 for 1 tonight, struck out looking his first time up. Fastball swung on, chopped up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Kirbayashi. He steps on the bag at second to erase Canario. And that is going to go in the books as a fielder's choice to 6. And that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of inning number 2. But they've opened the scoring 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your scores were now through 2 complete. It is the Saitama Seibu Lions with a 1-0 lead over the Buffaloes. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with all the action right after this. Your score is 1-0 for the Lions. We are cruising ourselves to the top of the 3rd inning, and we'll be right back with all the action after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. Alexander Canario's RBI single has given the Lions a early 1-0 lead as we move to the top of the 3rd inning. The lefty Sato on the hill, resuming the action, will be facing the bottom 3rd hitters in the batting order. And the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses low, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Noguchi. Noguchi was up at the plate when Yumamune got gunned down trying to steal second. Hitting 208 on the year, homer and 9 RBIs, takes a breaking ball on the inside corner for a called strike. The count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Lefty getting the signs from Kojima, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sato. Sato, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Noguchi. Sato works out of a sort of a set position. There's a fastball that just misses outside. Count goes to 2-2. Of the 6 batters that he's faced tonight, 2 have worked him to a full count. As we said, he threw 19 pitches in the first, 18 pitches in the second. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and Noguchi's in the books. He's gone for out number 1. That'll bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. So not exactly the most pitch-efficient start tonight, but get you 6 innings. You can always turn it over to the bullpen, and hopefully they can bring it home for you. So that brings to the plate Wakatsuki batting 186 on the year, and there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. And we were talking about Kirby-Ashi in the last half inning and not liking what he does at the plate. I probably a less of a fan of Wakatsuki. Has this big leg kick, doesn't get the foot down in time, takes a breaking ball for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. Many hitters have different styles. At the end of the day, there are some absolutes to hitting, at least in my beliefs. And there's certain things that you have to do. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to the right side. Fielded neatly by the first baseman, Hirasawa. He easily wins the race to the bag. And gone for out number 2 is Wakatsuki. But that would be the case in point right there. Not getting your foot down on time, late to the party. The ground ball the other way, not on time with the pitch. And gone for out number 2. Well, this brings Haruto Watanabe to the plate. Watanabe, last time we checked in on the Buffaloes, he was hitting in the leadoff spot. Now he's all the way down to number 9. Hitting 268 on the year, 3 homers and 7 runs driven in. Got himself off to an absolutely outstanding start. There's a slow breaking ball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0 to Watanabe. So 1 ball and no strikes. Lefty versus the lefty. Sato working to the set. Kicks and fires. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count goes to 1-1 on Watanabe. I think that this lefty here needs to be sitting next to Samita and others. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-2. You have some nice left-handed pitching depth in that Lions organization. And another one here in Sato that is on his way to greatness. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball just misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Watanabe. And for those of you who have just joined us, we thank you for making the time to listen in with us here tonight. There's a breaking ball swung on, lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. There is some scoring over in the game at the PayPay Dome in Fukuoka. The Fighters have got on the board with a early 1-0 lead here against the Hawks, or there against the Hawks. That's in the bottom of the second inning. There's a fastball swung on, is grounded softly past the bag at first base, and the count remains at 2-2 to Watanabe. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Watanabe runs well, so if he can get the ball on the floor, you got to believe it is going to be a lot of hurried movements to be able to get him out. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded through the right side and past the diving glove of the second baseman into right field, just out of the outstretched arms of Takizawa. And Watanabe's got himself a 2-out single. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Kai Nakagawa. I don't know, but I think if I'm the Buffaloes right here, you got to challenge again. I think I'm going first move. First move with Watanabe, make him throw you out. See if he can get himself a stolen base. If you get thrown out, you got your leadoff hitter coming up. He's got 1 foot on the turf, 1 on the dirt. To me, it's a no-brainer. And you still got Nakagawa who can drive him in if need be. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball at the knees, taken for a called strike. That would have been the pitch to run on. Breaking ball from the lefty. But he's ahead in the count at 0-1. Tink says, what other teams do you like, tonight or in general? Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the lefty kicks and fires. There's a fastball that just misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Sexy matchup at the Tokyo Dome that'll go off at 1800 hours local time, or 6 o'clock if you're in Japan. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on tap right back to the pitcher, fielded by Sato. He throws to first, and Nakagawa gone on a ground out 1-3 for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it. You got no runs in the inning, you got a hit. You got no errors, and you got 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move now to the third inning. Bottom half of the third inning, it is a 1-0 lead for the Lions. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. Appreciate you for hanging in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Right back right after this musical timeout.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat for the Lions in this one here. Watanabe, Nevin, and Kojima, as they'll be facing the starter Takashima for the second time tonight. Getting back to Tink's question, he said, who do you like tonight? Well, the rest of the games, to be honest with you, I haven't really taken a lot of homework. They're already underway. Eagles now lead the Marines 2-1 in that game in Tohoku. But I have to say, I think I'd be leaning towards, as the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, I'd be leaning towards the Tigers again in this game with Murakami on the mound against Forrest Whitley. As the pitch on the way, the 0-1 comes inside. It's now 1-1 to Watanabe. That would be I'd be leaning toward that. You've got the Tigers in second place. You got the Giants in third. There's 2.5 games that separate them. Tigers looking to keep pace with the Swallows. Fastball swung on, grounded over to second. Noguchi fields it. Throws to first. Ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. Going to bring up Tyler Nevin to the plate. Our friend Nick from Los Angeles in the house tonight. Glad you can make it in, Nick. Haven't seen you in a while. But then we haven't been here in a while. So that probably is the two that can tango. Nick says he's tuning in from work. He got an earplug in. He took the Lions live for $1.75 before they scored. Here's the pitch. And there's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Tyler Nevin. Nevin with a single his first time up. Having a good season here with the Lions. You know, in some ways, I hope they throw some money at him and keep him in Japan. There's a breaking ball that swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-1. Kind of like Brandon Laird, you know, Gregory Polanco, Neftali Soto, those type of players in recent years that have carved out a long career in Japan. Fastball that misses outside. Count goes to 2-1. Set yourself up, make a few bucks, take care of your family, enjoy your time. I don't know if he gets an offer back in the United States, and if he did, be like one of those minor league offers with an invite to spring training. Fastball misses down, the count's 3-1. But you never know. I mean, most American players would obviously prefer to play in the United States, where they're from. Can't blame them. But if you've been to Japan, you know why a lot of people like to stay there. There's a fastball swung on, and it's sliced foul down the right field line, and the count now full to Nevin. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Those people who have popped in tonight. As we said, we're grateful for you guys to listen in. So 3-2 to Nevin as the payoff pitch is on the way as the right-hander Takashima delivers. Fastball swung on it. It's popped foul into the seats on the first base side of home plate, and the count remains at 3-2. So 3-2 to Nevin. Nick says, appreciate you doing it. Well, we appreciate you for being here. If it wasn't for you guys, we'd be just flapping in the wind. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fastball taken on the outside corner for a called third strike. Nevin's in the books. He's gone for out number 2, and that's going to leave it all up to the catcher in Taiga Kojima. As he walks back to the dugout shaking his head, we'll get a look at the replay on it, and he's got a case. But when you got 2 strikes in Japan and you're an import player, there's the old saying, never trust the ump. And Nevin is returning back to the batter's box. Got to flick your wrists. Got to know what you're in for. Spoil the pitch. Get rid of it. And carry on. There's a first pitch breaking ball swung on and grounded foul past the first base coach's box. Count is 0-1 to Kojima. Kojima tonight 0 for 1. He flew out to center field his first time up. Batting from the left side. got a couple of homers and 5 runs batted in the season. I'd like to see what he can do once he starts to fill out a bit. There's a fastball swung on. This is yanked through the 4-hole into right field. And Kojima's aboard with a 2-out single. Boy, we've seen that a couple of times tonight. 2-out singles. That's the second time the Lions have done it. Flip side of the coin, the Buffaloes have done it once themselves. So can't seem to put that third hitter away. Always 2 outs and then somebody gets a hit. Prolonging the inning. So I never really answered Tink's question. I would say I'm leaning toward the Tigers again tonight in that game, just as we leaned to the Lions before this one had started when we asked us. So hopefully that answers your question, Tink. It was a little bit of a long wait. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Taiga Hirasawa. I would think that the Hanshin Tigers are going to make another run for the Central League. I think they're going to lose a couple of guys. Certainly Sato is earmarked for going, but I wonder if Murakami or a couple of their other arms might end up hitting the road too. There's a fastball on the outside corner taken for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Remember a couple of years ago, there was Koyo Oyagi. And he ended up in the Phillies organization. He was now with the Swallows back in the NPB. Things did not go particularly well for him in the Phillies organization. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 2-1. 32-year-old, pretty good career. He actually was part of the best 9 in 2022. I didn't know what to expect. I'd not really seen a whole lot of him pitch, and he was a sidewinder as a starter. You don't see that in Major League Baseball. There's a fastball swung on, and this is sliced down the left field line, and it's foul. Action already in the Lion bullpen. Another lefty up and throwing. So we'll keep our eyes peeled to see what the Lions have up their sleeve, so to speak. Our friend the Chafe says, I always wonder about attracting Western players to Japan. I never played significantly, but I'd sign with the Tokyo club over any MLB team just for the experience living in Tokyo. Yeah, it's interesting. I think that a lot of players or a lot of people, as the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on, grounded up the middle, just past the glove of the second baseman, Noguchi. Rounding second and heading to third is Kojima. So all the action here going with 2 out. That's going to put runners on the corners. Yeah, I'll allude a little bit to that. If you're a fringe type of player, you're always looking for opportunities. And certainly the Japanese league, the structure, the support of the fans, the crowd, the money that they have. I know it's not major league money in some cases, but if you need a payday, if you're a guy who's that, what I call a 4A player, you're too good for AAA, you're not good enough for the big leagues. Is it worth hanging around? I mean, you look at it and you say, hey, I can have a nice career. I can stay over here. And the other thing is you come back to North America and nobody knows who you are. You can walk the streets, you go to the grocery store, you go to the mall with your family. People aren't pestering you. In Japan, they'll know you, but even in Japan, they'll kind of leave you alone. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. I remember a number of years ago, I used to work with a guy, and his nephew used to play for the Vancouver Canucks. And he played his college hockey at the University of Michigan. He played with the Devils and whatever else. And when the National Hockey League had a lockout back in the 90s, I think it was, in the 90s, he went over and played a year in Sweden. Here's the pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count's 1-1. And he said, what did he enjoy most? Well, he had a wife and kids, and they would go to the grocery store. They would go out on the town, and nobody bothered them. It'd be like people would look at you, know who you are, and then they would just carry on. I thought that was kind of cool. And certainly that's what you also get in in Japan, where people aren't going to mob you. Now, Shohei Ohtani might be whole different kettle of fish, or Ichiro. There's a fastball that misses down. Count goes to 2-1 on Hasegawa. Hasegawa scored the only run tonight so far for the Lions. He singled and came around on the RBI single by Alexander Canario back in the second inning. Chave says, makes you wonder why if more players would choose to take a flyer. Yeah, that's certainly an option and certainly a bargaining option. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball swung on, lifted into left field. This ball should be playable. At the edge of the warning track, reaching up and making the catch is Nishikawa. And that is going to retire Hasegawa for the third out of the inning. Well, they threatened to the Lions, but they don't score. No runs in the inning. There was a pair of hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. Your scores were now through 3 complete. It is the Lions with a 1-0 lead. Stick around, everybody. I'll be back and we'll comment more on the chat when we return right after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. The middle 3 frames are upon us. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes, Nishikawa, Mori, and Naito. As we are about ready to resume the action here. As Sato has completed his tune-up tosses, and we're ready to get back at it. 55 pitches, the first 3 frames for the lefty. Our friend Tink says, do you like SoftBank tonight? To be honest with you, I can't say that I like or dislike certain things because I really haven't got my toe back into this. I know SoftBank's not played very well over the last couple of weeks, have fallen out of a playoff position. So I haven't really got a beat on those guys. I haven't watched them, haven't paid attention to how they've been playing. First pitch breaking ball comes up and in on Nishikawa, rides him off the plate for ball 1. Nishikawa 0 for 1 tonight, flew out to left field his first time up. Our friend Tom says he's got the Swallows in the first 5, and he's got the Chinichi Dragons in money line. Breaking ball taken for called strike. The count is 1-1. I was getting a kick out of that. That breaking ball was swung at way late. Well, they have a right-hander up in the bullpen to the Lions. They had a lefty up last inning. Breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. Looks like they have number 70 up and throwing, and that would be Taishi Mamita. Fastball misses outside. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they say that Nishikawa didn't go. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike to the Buffalo left fielder. Here comes the 3-1 offering. Pitch is on the way. Fastball at the knees, taken for a called strike. Count is 3-2. That's one of the things that, I've often thought about. We like to call the games because I like the baseball. I like to see, the teams that are at the top. I like to see good pitching matchups. 3-2 pitch, breaking ball, swung on and lifted into the seats, foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 3-2. And though I like to see good pitching matchups, I like to see good baseball, I don't stay with one team. And when you stay with one team, you really get to know the players, you get to know their patterns, you get to know that a little bit better. Obviously, my fan in Major League Baseball is of that of Detroit. There's a fastball grounded foul past the bag at third base, and 3-2 it remains. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's going to leave Tomoya Mori to bat next, and then Naito to come to bat after him. Another fastball swung on, and another one fouled away. So in watching Sato pitch, I like his stuff. He does have 3 strikeouts in the ball game, but it really makes me wonder, with all these foul balls, if he's got that little bit of giddy up to be able to just put the hitters away. He seemed to be able to foul them off, foul them off, foul them off. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Or did he? Nope, he fouled that one off too, did Nishikawa, and the count remains at 3-2. This is going to be the 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up here. And to my point, just they're able just to get a little piece, a little piece, a little piece. As Nishikawa is stabbing at a fly that's around in front of his face. As he asks for time and steps out. So here we're going to do the 3-2 pitch again. On the way, breaking ball, swung on, grounded, break back off the pitcher. It knocks his glove off. He fields it. He throws to first, and they're going to get him. Oh, right off the pitching arm, forearm of the lefty. Oh, boy. And he is holding it. He is down on all fours in some pain. I've got to see if he threw that right-handed or left-handed. I don't want to laugh a little bit, but boy, he took that scorcher right back off the forearm. They're going to take him down the tunnel and have a quick examination of it there, but it's going to go down as a ground out 1-3. We're going to have a pause in the play here as the lefty is going to make his way down the tunnel. He's holding it just below the elbow, so it looked like he got him in the forearm. He's shaking it off. Hopefully he's going to be okay. I don't know if he caught that off the or took it off the bounce or not. We're going to have to get a look at the replay on this one. It happened fairly quickly. I don't know if it was like a short hop that came up and got him. Good thing they had pitchers up in the bullpen. Get a look at the replay. Oh, it was a straight line drive back. Oh, it got him on the... So he threw his hands up to protect himself, and it caught him just between the elbow and the wrist, just a little bit up. That was a line drive that he took. Fielded it, threw the ball to first to get the out left-handed. And he was down in some considerable pain. You could see him holding onto his arm. I'm sure if I took it there, I'd have a heck of a welt. Pitching coach Toyota heading down the tunnel to have a look-see here. As I said, they had action in the bullpen prior to the innings, so maybe they were anticipating something not in the right way, unfortunately, for the starter Sato. But now the right-hander is getting going with some seriousness. This is Taishi Mamita. We're going to wait and see if they're going to have a change here. Sato back in the dugout. Is he coming back out? Yeah, it looks like he's coming back out. Boy, oh boy. I'll tell you, the way that hit him. As I was saying, I think they're gonna watch him take a couple of pitches off the mound. Let's see what he's like here. Get the radar guns out and see if he can pick up something. Here's a couple of pitches. Sometimes it doesn't swell up right away. Sometimes you get clunked with it, and the next thing you know, it starts to be a problem as goes on. Well, looks like his breaking ball and his fastball are going to be effective. Well, it's one more. Yeah, they're going to give him that one as well. Well, maybe he's got a little bit more venom in his pitches now that he's taking that one off the form. It was a heck of an at-bat by Nishikawa. 10-pitch at-bat. So that's going to bring Tomoya Mori to the plate. Well, Mori coming to the plate with one gone here. 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count quickly 0-1 to Mori. So no balls and 1 strike. Lefty again delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Lefty delivers again. Fastball swung on it is going to be lifted into left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Over to pick it up is the left fielder Hasegawa. He'll fire it back in. So Mori aboard with a 1-out single. It's going to bring up the first baseman in Ho Naito. Well, for Naito, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out in his only trip to the plate. Here in the top of the fourth inning, it is a 1-0 lead for the Lions. They got their run in the second inning off a RBI single off the bat of Alexander Canario. Lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count's 1-0 to Naito. Just going back to the Che for a minute, and we were talking about in that last half inning about why more players maybe wouldn't consider going to Japan. I know that it's always the dream to get to the big leagues. I know some of the guys that I've come across, and you get to AAA and you're like, you know what? You're on the crux. How are you going to get a payday? Breaking ball swung on and grounded foul past the bag at third base. Count goes to 1-1. And, sometimes an injury can derail a guy's career as they're pathing their way on, and you wonder if they're going to get themselves to the big leagues. And the next thing you know, it's something can happen. So you do want to get yourself a foundation. You want to get yourself some money and get yourself set up. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Lefty Sato delivers. Fastball swung on, and it's lifted down the right field line. It's slicing. Giving chase is the right fielder, Canario, but ball's going to bounce foul, and that's going to run the count to 1-2 on Naito. I was talking to one of the fathers of a player who is out right now. He actually pitched in the Japanese league for a couple of years, and talking to the dad, and he was like, you're getting on in your late 20s. You need to get a payday. And pitching a couple of years in Japan, he made himself some good money. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he would have been around $750,000 US. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. Back onto the warning track, looking up, leaping, and it's off the wall. That's going to get Mori rounding third. Here comes the throw to the plate. Is it going to be in time? The throw is in time, and they've nailed Mori at the plate. Oh, what a great execution that was. But they're going to want to have a look at it, are the Buffaloes. We're going to take a look here. We're going to look at it ourselves. That ball ended up off the top of the wall. The left fielder, Hasegawa, went all the way back. He leaped. He couldn't get it. The ball trickled away. The center fielder, Nishikawa, coming over to cover, was able to pick it up, firing it into the shortstop, Genda, who relayed it to the plate. Now, the question is going to be did Kojima apply the tag in time? We're going to look at the replay here. Good swing there off the bat of Naito. Ball just kept carrying. Actually, kind of a poor play by the left fielder. Got all turned around. We're going to look at the play at the plate again. Genda with the throw. Ooh, Mori might have got in there. This one might be reversed. We may have ourselves a tie ball game. We'll get a look at it. The throw bounced. It got up in the air. The tag came down. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough evidence to turn it over. At first thought, I thought there might be. Ooh. Guess we're just going to have to wait on this one here for the umpires. I'll give you my call. I'm going to say that the call is going to stand. I don't know if there's enough to overturn it. Ooh. We're waiting here with the home plate umpire. Are they going to make the decision? The tag came high. It was on Mori's left shoulder. I don't know if I like the way that Mori slid to the plate there on that one. He tried to get underneath the tag. The ball ended up hopping, and it took a hop, and I think Mori's going to be out. We're going to give Naito a double on that one. And the first base umpire, who had come down to be in position to make the play, had made the call. We're just going to have to wait. Here comes the call. And up goes the right hand. It is going to be an out. So that is going to go in the books as a 8-6-2 put out Mori is going to be gone for the second out of the inning, and Naito is going to be at second base. So that answers that question for us all. They are going to lose a challenge, are the Buffalo, so they are going to be one challenge short. So the score remains 1-0 here for the Lions. Buffalo's just missed getting a point there. So the lefty ready to go again as Sato has been dancing with danger here. And Yuma Mune coming to the plate. Mune 1 for 1 tonight. He was gunned down trying to steal second base. So left-hander versus the left-hander as he kicks and delivers. There's a slow breaking ball that catches the inside corner for called strike. Count is 0-1. Mune has his average up to 255 on the year. That's single back in inning number 2. Samito holding to the set. He checks the runner. Checks him again. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and belted foul well into the seats. We're on the right field. Boy, and not only into the seats, that he hit it maybe about 45 rows up. So no balls and 2 strikes to Mune. If you just joined us, it is a 1-0 lead for the Lions. And that was courtesy of a RBI single out the bat of Alexander Canario. And now they throw down to second base, and they have successfully picked off the runner Naito on a daylight play from Sosuke Genda. Oh boy, that's the way this one is going to end. We had some weirdness in this one. He's picked off 1-6 for out number 3. Well-executed play by the Lions, and that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the inning. What a waste. No runs in the inning, 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your scores, we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is the Lions with a 1-0 lead. If you had that on your bingo card, good on you, because we sure didn't. A pickoff well executed to end the inning. We'll be back in just a few right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Sosuke Genda, Manaya Nishikawa, and Alexander Canario, the 8-9-1 hitters, to come to bat here in the bottom half of inning number 4 for the Lions. Buffaloes are going to be lamenting their chances here in this one, as the runner gets gunned down at the plate on a great relay by the Lions. And Naito getting picked off at second base. It wasn't even close. It was a good, solid, almost foot to the bag. Great play there by Genda, running the daylight play, well executed by the Lions defense. Well, this brings to the plate Sosuke Genda to lead it off as the shortstop ready to face the right-hander, and he takes a fastball outside for ball 1. 54 pitches through the first 3 innings for the right-hander Takashima. Genda batting from the left side here against the right-hander, who holds to the set. Now delivers. Fastball misses down and in, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Genda. Genda 1 for 1 tonight. Singled his first time up. Pitch on the way. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And the right-hander holding to the set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander again delivers. Fastball swung on and missed, and Genda's in the books for out number 1 here. It's going to bring up the center fielder in Manaya Nishikawa. Well, for Nishikawa tonight, he is officially 0 for 1, but he was a part of that relay to be able to gun down Tomoya Mori at the plate in the top half here of inning number 4. So Takashima leaning in, getting his sign as he works himself to the set. Here comes the first offering. Breaking ball misses up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Nishikawa. Right-hander against the left-hander. Nishikawa batting 209 on the year. There's a fastball swung on, hammered foul into the netting down the right field line. Count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Nishikawa batting in the 9 spot. He and Hasegawa last year were an important part of the outfield play. Fastball misses up, and the count goes to 2-1. But realistically, as the team is starting to come together, they are support pieces at this point more than anything else. Here's the 2-1. Fastball swung on, chopped over to the right side of the infield, right to Naito. He's going to get it, step on the bag, and that's going to retire Nishikawa on a ground out to first for out number 2. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Alexander Canario. As we were pointing out about Tomoya Mori, who has a propensity to swing at first pitches, Canario has only seen 2 pitches tonight. He's got a single and a ground out. He's also driven in the only run of the ball game thus far. So a very aggressive hitter. Here comes the first pitch. Breaking ball taken on the inside corner for a called strike. Counts 1-1. He's raised his season average up to 243. So the ball's a 1 strike to Canario. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside, and the count now even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander holding set now delivers. Fastball swung on, almost takes the head of the pitcher off, lined into center field for a base hit. Canario aboard with his 2nd hit of the night. So he is continuing his hot play as late. And that is going to bring up the second baseman in Natsuo Takezawa. Yeah. That's what they say often is the worst fielder in the infield is the pitcher. If you can get it past the pitcher, you're probably going to get yourself a base hit. So Canario, the runner at first, as the right-hander Takashima again in that situation where he gets the first 2 outs and can't put away the third batter. This is the 3rd time in 4 innings that's happened. And ironically, it hasn't led to a run. It was in the 2nd inning when they had the run scored, but they did that with less than 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball misses down and in, and the count is 1-0 to Takezawa. If you've just joined us, well, it's a 1-0 ball game in favor of the Lions on the RBI single off the bat of Canario back in inning number 2. Game has had a decent clip to it, but it's slowed down a little bit here in the 4th inning. Here comes the 1-0. Pitch on the way. Fastball, take it for a strike. Runner down to second. The throw is not in time, and it gets into the outfield. Here comes the throw to third base. And that one gets away, and it gets all the way to the wall, but backing up the play over there was the pitcher. So he got an error on the catcher as that ball is going to go into center field. So a stolen base by Canario, his third of the year, and an E2 on the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki, as he threw that ball into center field. Get a look at the replay on that one. Canario moving fairly well. I'll get a look at the replay on that. I wonder if the shortstop, Kirby Ashe, could have had that or should have had that. After you get a quick peek at that one. I'm not going to give us the replay, so I can't comment. I don't know if he should have picked that or not. Infielders got to stop balls. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is going to get looped into center field for a base hit. That's going to bring Canario in with the second run of the ball game. An RBI single off the bat of Takizawa has now doubled the Lions' lead to 2-0. And that is going to bring up the third baseman in Seiya Watanabe. So high fives all the way around for the Lions players on that one. So for Takizawa, it's his 13th RBI of the year, as he was able to inside out the ball into center field. It's going to bring Seiya Watanabe to the plate. Watanabe 1 for 2. He's got a single and a ground out in this one, and he takes a fastball up and in for ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes to the third baseman of the Lions. Again, the right-hander holding set. And he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Watanabe. Watanabe hitting .253 on the year. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Those 4 homers and 19 runs driven in. Again, the right-hander works to the set position. Here comes the 2-0. Breaking ball misses up and in. The count goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes to Seiya Watanabe. There is action in the Buffalo bullpen. It's a right-hander up and throwing. I didn't get a number. This is going to be the 73rd pitch of the ball game from Takashima. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 3-1. Waiting on deck is Tyler Nevins. So all the action, everything here has come with 2 outs in the inning. Takashima able to get Genda and Nishikawa back-to-back to start the inning. And then it was a single, a stolen base, an error, and then a single by Takizawa that has given the Lions the 2-0 lead. And there's a split-finger pitch missing down. It's going to be ball 4. So Watanabe aboard with a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second, and it's going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound. But it looks like it is also going to bring the manager out of the dugout. That is going to be the end of the night for Takashima. We've seen enough. So Buffaloes are going to make a pitching change. And we're going to turn it over to our friend Steve to keep you guys entertained while we give ourselves a little break. Hang tight, everybody. Pitching change in the bottom of the 4th. Lions lead 2-0.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you going to throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. come see my channel. Every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change. It is going to be Hiroshi taking over here. The right-hander is just completing his tune-up tosses as he goes by only one name. I always used to kind of chuckle a little bit and think in Brazilian soccer, you used to have to be pretty good to get the one name, but Hiroshi is Hiroshi Suzuki, but he is only going by Hiroshi. He was originally a first-round pick of the Chinichi Dragons back in 2017, and he was selected by the Buffaloes in the active player draft in 2023, so he has been with them as well since then. So he wears the number, or used to wear the number 46 to pay homage to Craig Kimbrell, who he said was his idol. Well, Craig Kimbrell was designated for assignment today by the New York Mets, so maybe he is going to go and try to redeem himself for that. He is not going to be facing anything easy. He's going to get Tyler Nevin to come to bat here with runners at first and second and two gone. So this is an opportunity here for Nevin to do some damage. So the runner at second base is Takazawa. Runner at first is Watanabe. Nevin, 1 for 2 tonight, has a single and 2 trips. He struck out looking his last time up. So he gets himself settled in the batter's box. He's got his average at 407 on the year. He is 24 for 59. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander Hiroshi, who kicks and delivers. It's a first pitch breaking ball, waved at and missed. Count is quickly 0-1 to Nevin. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander against the right-hander. Getting the sign from his catcher as he works himself to the set position. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Nevin. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Ready to go again is the right-hander Hiroshi. Checks that runner at second base. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted into the seats. Foul over on the first base side. And 1-2, Nevin is behind in the count. We are keeping our eyes peeled around the games over in other parts of the NPB tonight. 3-2, the Eagles have the lead in the bottom of the 6th inning over the Marines. 4-1, the Hawks now have the lead in the bottom of the 4th against the Fighters. Dragons and Carp tied at 3, 6-0 still for the Swallows. That's in the top of the 4th inning at games in Yokohama. Fastball swung on, lifted into right center field, moving over back onto the warning track and making the catch over the shoulder is Watanabe, and that is going to do it. Nevin sent it for a ride, just not deep enough. He's going to be gone for out number 3, and that's going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the 4th. Well, they had a run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was 1 error, and there was 2 runners left aboard. Your scores were now through 4 complete. It is the Lions with a 2-0 lead over the Buffaloes. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you for listening on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a little bit.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, I got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the fifth inning, and coming to bat will be Yuma Mune, Kitaro Kobayashi, and Tomoya Noguchi. Mune was at the plate when Ho Naito got picked off of second base in the fourth inning. So he'll start with a fresh count. 74 pitches for the left-hander so far in this one. And he delivers a first pitch fastball for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Mune. Mune tonight, 1 for 1. Singled in his first trip up. He was caught stealing. As that ended the second inning, there was a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Left-hander working to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded through the 4-hole into right field, and Mune is aboard with a leadoff single here to start the fifth inning. So he is aboard, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Kitaro Kobayashi. So for Kobayashi tonight, he is 0 for 1. He popped out to third his first time up. It's a good sign for the Buffaloes if Mune is swinging the bat well. A couple of good swings here tonight. Can be an important part of their offense when he's firing on all cylinders. So Kobayashi coming to the plate. He's hitting .229 on the year. And the lefty delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. Is belted foul into the netting down the third base line. Almost into the left field line. The count is 0-1 to Kobayashi. So no balls and 1 strike. Top of the fifth inning, Lions with a 2-0 lead over the Buffaloes. I think if you're a fan of the Lions, or if you got money on the Lions, I think I'd be feeling a little bit more secure if they could put a little more distance between the Buffaloes. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I was saying earlier how it would be much more interesting if you could keep this game clicking along a little bit quicker. It just seems like just had a bit of a stall. Fastball that misses down and away, and the count's 2-1. A little stall in that fourth inning. Everything all going with 2 outs. We were talking about that Takashima in the 4 innings that he was there with. Retired the first 2 batters of each inning and then couldn't get the third out. It's one way to prolong your innings. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the lefty holds set. Here's the pitch to Kobayashi. Fastball swung on line into center field for a base hit. They're going to play station-to-station baseball. As stopping at second is Mune. So Kobayashi with a base hit here. That puts runners at first and second, and it's going to bring Tomoya Noguchi to the plate. So the Lions brass is starting to scurry a little bit here as they've got runners at first and second. Nobody gone. And they are definitely on the phone. There is a 5-alarm blaze that is happening all around their starter right now. And the action is starting to heat up in the bullpen. They do have a right-hander up. Try to get you the number here in just a moment. Couldn't quite tell who it was. It looks like it's a right-hander. Earlier up, they had Mamita. I don't know if that was him or Sugai that was up and throwing. I guess we'll have to wait. And the first pitch, squaring to bunt, is Noguchi. He gets it down. It's a good one. They look to third, but the only play is going to be to first. It's going to be a sacrifice, 1-4 in the books for the first out of the inning. Mune over to third, Kobayashi over to second. That's going to bring the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki, to the plate. Well, If I'm the Lions, I got to be thinking about a squeeze play here because Wakatsuki 0 for 1 tonight. Not exactly a big time hitter. They are out to the mound. Well, that looks like it could be the end of the evening for Sato, as I think his night is done. They've got the manager coming out to the mound to make the change. We're going to take a little time out while we have the pitching change. Runners at second and third, one gone here on the top of the fifth. Buffalo's threatening. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel after this timeout from our good friend Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have Lira. We have Yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Thank you very much. It is going to be Kenya Wakatsuki coming to bat here for the Buffaloes. Yes, Yumahune is at third and Kobayashi at second. As the Lions gone to their bullpen, it is a right-hander, and it is going to be number 11 in the ballgame now. This is going to be Taiga Ueda. So he is just completing his tune-up tosses, and we're going to be ready to resume the action. 82 pitches for Sato in this one. And he has worked 4 1/3 innings. He is responsible for the 2 runners on base, so his line is not complete yet. But Taiga Ueda on in relief here of Sato. So Kenya Wakatsuki coming to the plate. As I said before, this you got to keep your eye here. To me, this is a squeeze situation. It's got it written all over it. Wakatsuki hitting $184 on the year, no homers and 3 runs driven in. He had a good start to his season at the beginning of the year, and then it has been not so much after that. I should say that offensively. I really like his defensive game. And the first pitch to him is chopped right back to the pitcher. They're going to come home with it. The throw to the plate, it's in time, and they're going to nail the runner. It is going to be Mune out at the plate. It's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to go 1-2 in the books. He's out for out number 2. Advancing to third is Kobayashi. And safe at first is Wakatsuki. So pounded the ball into the ground. Nice play there by Ueda to catch it, set his feet, and deliver a good ball to the catcher. It was the catcher, Taiga Kojima, able to apply the tag. So there is now 2 gone here, and that is going to bring Haruto Watanabe to the plate. So if you are a fan of the Buffaloes, oh boy, keep these sharp objects away from those folks. They are got to be not very happy with the way that the Buffaloes have squandered opportunities in this one. So Wakatsuki, the runner at first, runner at third, Kobayashi. Watanabe is 1 for 1 tonight. He's pulled his season average up to 276 with that hit earlier on. 27 for 98 on the season. And the first pitch coming here from Ueda. Kicks and delivers fastball at the knees for a called strike. And the count is 0-1 to Watanabe. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 5th inning, it is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat for the Lions. Kojima, Hirasawa, and Hasegawa. I don't know what the over-under was for tonight for the first 5, but I assume right now with the 2-0 lead, it's probably at the under. My guess would have been a 2.5 or 3.5. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. The count 0-2 now to Watanabe. If that is the case, those folks who are listening in have got to be holding their breath that the Buffaloes don't cash a run in here. So no balls and 2 strikes. Way ahead in the count here is the right-hander Ueda as he gets the side from his catcher. Watanabe waggling the bat. Here comes the offering. 0-2 on the way. Pitch there is a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Pretty good crowd on hand in Takarazawa for this ball game between the Lions and the Buffaloes. I pointed that out earlier. Buffalo crowd, they're in attendance, but they are certainly drowned out by the Lions supporters for this one. Here's the 0-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside. The count goes to 1-2 on Watanabe. If you're back around tomorrow night, we're going to do the same 2 teams all over again. And a night off on Monday, and then it gets into interleague play. We're going to try to do some midweek interleague play. Hopefully you guys can join us for some of those. Action gets going in the middle of the night in North America. There's a fastball swung on. It's belted into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. That's going to get at least 1 run in. In to score comes Kobayashi, and Watanabe is going to pick up his 8th RBI of the year. So Kobayashi in to score the run on the RBI single off the bat of Watanabe, and they have cut the lead to 2-1. The Buffaloes have cashed in their first run of the ball game. And it's going to bring a conference out to the mound here, as it is slated to be the top of the order in Kai Nakagawa to come to the plate. So they're going to give some instructions here and certainly how they want to handle this situation. And I do believe it is runners on the corners all over again. I didn't catch to see if Wakatsuki was able to make it all the way around to third, but I do believe that that would be the case. They had to go a long way to have to get the ball, did the right fielder Canario, moving to his left toward the foul line. It wasn't like the ball was hit that deep. It is runners at the corners. So probably discussing how they want to handle Watanabe. Are they going to let him take the bag, or are they going to take a shot at him? I think I'd take a shot at him only because it's Wakatsuki, the runner, at third. So Kai Nakagawa is stepping up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 in this one. He has popped the first and grounded back to the pitcher. As the right-hander Ueda holds set. Here's the pitch. Fastball missing down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Nakagawa. Got to be able to fill up the zone. Got to find a way to throw some strikes. Ueda picks over to first base. Oh, diving back just barely in time as the runner. Nice, good, quick feet there exhibited by Ueda. So again, here comes the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander again fires to first and again diving back in time, but this time much easier was Watanabe. So 1 ball and no strikes. I wonder if you're Kojima, if you want to take a shot at him here if he's not stealing, but I'm going to challenge that arm of the catcher. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Ueda kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count runs even now to 1-1 on Nakagawa. For those of you who are just joining us, appreciate you guys for popping in. You are a little bit late, but you've walked yourself into a entertaining ball game here so far. 2-1 lead for the Lions. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Nakagawa. Both starters have been chased from the ball game, as we are into the bullpens already for the Lions and the Buffaloes. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ueda delivers. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. Count now 1-2. Buffaloes got the run back here in the inning on a RBI single off the bat of Watanabe. And as it stands here, it is 2-1 for the Lions, and the Buffaloes are threatening for more. So Ueda gets himself a new baseball. 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to Nakagawa. Curious to see how this ball game will play out with the bullpens and how they'll use them and deploy their arms tonight. Here comes the 1-2. Ueda kicks and fires. Breaking ball misses inside. And there goes the runner down to second base. So good pitch to run on. Stolen base by Watanabe. He didn't draw the throw. Sure wasn't defensive indifference. I wouldn't rule it as that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was a great pitch to run on. And he had a pretty healthy jump. I still think if I'm Kojima, I want to take a shot at that. So runners at second and third now with 2 gone. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nakagawa. And the right-hander again working to the set. Now delivers. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base line, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you're thinking about coming back tomorrow, do it again. Same 2 teams, same channel, same time. Be happy to have you with us for that one. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Waggling the bat is the right-handed hitting Nakagawa. Way to getting his sign. He works to the belt. And now the pitch. Fastball misses way upstairs. It's going to go to 3-2 on Nakagawa. It's not going to get any easier. It is Ryoma Nishikawa who waits his turn on deck. Runners at second and third. There's no force play situation here. The force is no longer in effect. Our friend CV baseball card collector in the house. Great to have you here, Caesar. Shot you some pictures, some videos. Did myself a doubleheader the other day down in Washington. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And there's a fastball swung on. It is lined on 1 hop up the middle, fielded by Genda behind second base. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Nakagawa. Nice play there by Genda. Good swing by Nakagawa. That's going to go as a ground out 6-3 for the third out of the inning. That will do it here for the Buffaloes in inning number 5. They had 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are halfway through this one. Bottom of the 5th is around the corner. Your score is the Saitama Seibu Lions 2 and the Orix Buffaloes 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kojima, Hirasawa, and Hasegawa to come to bat in inning number 5 for the Lions. Both of the starting pitchers have been chased. We'll keep an eye on the bullpens here on this one. Teto Takashima, the starter, gone after 4 2/3 innings. He was replaced by Hiroshi in the fourth inning, and we'll see if Hiroshi will hang in here with us or if it is time to go to the bullpen. We'll get the confirmation here in just a moment. But it is going to be a pitching change here for the Buffaloes. The first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Is 0-1 to Kojima. It is now the right-hander, number 94, Kento Kawase, in the ball game. There was a fastball at the knees taken for a called strike. The count now is 0-2 to Kojima. So Kawase on in relief. There's a fastball swung on it. It's going to be lined into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And Kojima's aboard with his second hit of the ball game. He's got himself a single. I got to tell you, in this one here, that's the 10th hit of the night for the Lions. They have put the ball in play. They have been rewarded, but they haven't been able to punch enough runs across. They have stranded all kinds of runners in this one, 8 to be exact through the first 4 innings. So that is going to bring Taiga Hirasawa to the plate. And just a note, remember, we like to call it Japanese halftime. The end of this half inning, it'll be a 5-minute break between the 5th and the 6th innings. Fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Hirasawa, so we will take a break along with it. Refresh our beverage, stretch out our legs, and get ready for the back half of the ball game. It's been a rather slow affair tonight. We're almost 2 full hours, and we haven't got through the first 5 innings yet. The right-hander works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses inside, and having to get out of the way and falling all the way down right to his chest was Hirasawa. Pitch almost got him in the shins. Count is 1-1 strike. So 1-1 strike to Hirasawa. 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. Right-hander Kawase delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. Is chopped foul over on the first base side. Count now 1-2 to Hirasawa. Our friend CV says, hiya, Fred. Yeah, good to see you, CV. Talking to you earlier there, we said we did the doubleheader down in Washington, got to see the Mariners, and then got to see the Aqua Sox. So 2 games. Not for the price of 1, unfortunately. 2 games for the price of 2. 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander Kawase ready to go again as he works to the belt. Now he delivers. Fastball misses way outside. The count is 2-2. One thing I'll say with both of these clubs tonight, I haven't done the full count yet, but I got to tell you, throwing strikes has been a challenge for both of these clubs. And the other part, when you get 2 outs, to be able to finish off the batters in this one, that's been another problem. There's a fastball swung on, is lifted foul. Count remains at 2-2. So without Kawase so far, I guess if you include Kawase's stats, he's already thrown 9 pitches. 84 pitches delivered so far tonight by the Buffaloes. As I said, we're in the 5th inning. 95 delivered by the Lions. Here's the 2-2 pitch. On the way. Breaking ball misses outside. The count goes to 3-2. You've got guys that can't get ahead in the count. Pitchers that can't get ahead in the count. Can't establish the strike zone. It becomes a battle and a battle and a battle. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down. It's in the dirt, and it gets away from Wakatsuki all the way to the backstop, and going all the way around to third on the wild pitch is Kojima. He couldn't find it. Look at the catcher, Wakatsuki, was spiked into the dirt, went off his glove, popped up into the air, and then had a little spin to it. And all the way to the backstop it went. He paused, he looked around, couldn't find it. I don't know how much help he was getting from his teammates. But Kojima is all the way to third on the wild pitch, and that is going to run the count full here to Kawase. And so they've got the pitching coaches come out to the mound to have a word with them. They got runner at third and nobody out. I think at this point in the game, I think with the score as close as it is, I would think the Buffaloes might want to consider bringing the infield in. And for those of you who are putting nickels and dimes or whatever it is on this game, bottom of the fifth inning, 3 runs is the score. If the over-under was 3.5, you're probably biting your nails right now if you took the under. So the right-hander Kawase ready to go back to work here. As Hirasawa waits, and it's a breaking ball that misses down. Check that. That was actually ball 4 to Hirasawa on the last one. He gets a walk. And going all the way to third on that wild pitch is Kojima. I have to change my scoring. It's Hasegawa at the plate. So runners at the corners. 1 ball and no strikes to Shinya Hasegawa. Infield is, and at the corners, double play depth up the middle. Here comes the 1-0. Breaking ball down. Another nice stop there by Kawase. Count goes to 2-0. We're playing cricket. We might be doing okay. So 2 balls and no strikes it is to Shinya Hasegawa. So Kawase gets the baseball that he likes. He's ready to go to work again here. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. On its way. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike, and the count's now 2-1 to Hasegawa. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And the right-hander leading in, getting his signs. Nods in agreement with the catcher, Wakatsuki. Working himself to the belt. Here comes the 2-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the right field line. It's now 2-2. Hasegawa. He can get himself a strikeout here. It would be huge. Sosuke Genda waiting his turn on deck. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Choking up off the end of the bat is Hasegawa. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul, and the count remains at 2-2. Lions crowd is urging their teammates on. Or their team on, I should say, not their teammates. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hasegawa. He has the bat extended well away from his body. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, ripped down the left field line. It's going to be fair into the corner. It's extra bases. 1 run is in. Rounding second and heading to third, and stopping there is going to be Hirasawa. A double by Hasegawa. That's going to re-extend the lead by 2 runs. It's now a 3-1 Lion lead on the RBI knock off the bat of Hasegawa, and they're looking for more here. So runners at second and third, nobody out, and it's going to bring Sosuke Genda to the plate. Ball was absolutely scorched into the corner, stayed fair by about 3 or 4 feet. So 3-1 the scoreline for the Lions. As Genda waits on the first offering from Kawase. The pitch on the way, breaking ball misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Genda. So 1 ball and no strikes. Crowd is in good humor as Genda waits here on the offering from the right-hander. Checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball swung on, lined into left field, moving back, making the catch. They're going to fire it in, and tagging at third and heading home to score is going to be Hirasawa, as he's going to get himself another run here for the Lions. It's going to increase the lead to 4-1. Sacrifice fly by Genda. He's going to get himself an RBI as he is the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the center fielder in Minaya Nishikawa. I got to say, the left fielder, Ryoma Nishikawa, boy, that was not really well played by him. He caught it flat-footed, threw the ball to the shortstop, and they fired it in. It almost looked like he had a sore wing or something. Didn't want to make the throw. So Minaya Nishikawa to the plate, 0 for 2 tonight. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. The Lions crowd now up 4-1 here. A really, really good position now. And the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses up and away. Count now goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Nishikawa tapping both sides of the plate. As the right-hander works to the set, they try to pick off down at second, but getting back in time is the base runner, Hasegawa. Tried to return the favor to the Lions as they had done to them when Honaito was picked off of second base earlier in the ballgame. Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to Nishikawa as the right-hander holds to the set. Here comes the pitch. On the way, fastball misses up and in, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We were talking about how the game has dragged on. Boy, when we hit the 4th inning, they forgot to wheel the oils on the wheels here. Put the oil on the wheels. It's come to a grinding halt. There's a split finger pitch swung on in the dirt and missed. They go down to first. It's going to be a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout. Nishikawa gone for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the top of the order in Alexander Canario. So for our friend who was in here earlier said that he had the Dragons on money line. I think he said the Lions on the first 5. Well, Lions in the first 5 is looking good. In fact, you've already clinched that. But the Carp have taken a 4-3 lead over the Dragons. At the top of the 7th inning. Here comes the pitch to Canario. Kawase delivers. Breaking ball swung on. This is going to be lifted into left field. Moving over underneath it is Nishikawa. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it for the Lions in the 5th. But they add to their lead. They get a pair of runs, 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. Your scores were through 5 complete. It is a 4-1 Lions lead. We're going to put the music on loop. We're going to take a timeout. Our friend Harrison is in here. Stay with us, Harrison. I'll be back here in just a couple. Appreciate you for listening in. Come back and talk to Harrison and everybody else after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We've got ourselves the sixth inning underway here. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes. And the first pitch was a ball delivered to Nishikawa. Now it's swung on, grounded over to second, fielded neatly on the deep in the 4 hole by the second baseman Takazawa. He throws to first, and Nishikawa gone on a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. So one quick out here. There is a pitching change as we have another Sato on the mound. And so hang tight, everybody. We got our friend Harrison in the house here. As we're glad you could join us here tonight, as it is going to bring Tomoya Mori to the plate. So the other Sato on the mound here is Shinsuke Sato, as he is taken over in relief. He is the third pitcher used tonight by the Lions. And the first pitch on the way to Mori. Fastball misses up and in, and the count is quickly 1-0. On left-handers here for the Lions. We talked about Sato, the starter, Sato, the reliever, Samita yesterday. Can roll out a bunch of lefties for sure. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. On its way. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. Fred Harrison says about his Baystars making some moves. That is for sure. Baystars made that trade with the Hawks. Baystars sent the catcher to Fukuoka. That was one of their catchers, the 27-year-old. In return, they got Ogata, who I really like as a pitcher. There's a ball chopped foul over on the first base side. Count is 1-2. They also got another piece, and I can't remember who the other piece of that puzzle was that went over to the Baystars. So I think sometimes that's a good baseball trade. It strengthens the pitching staff for the Yokohama Ball Club. I think it was Yamamoto went the other way, the 27-year-old catcher. They needed a catcher. They really haven't had a number one since Takuya Kai. Mano can't hit. He's okay defensively, but they really are in dire straits there. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right field, and Tomoya Mori is aboard with a one-out single. That's going to put runner at first with one gone. It'll bring Ho Naito to the plate. So, yeah, I think it's a good move. I think it's the right move and a good move. But that is my opinion. Just taking a look at I think there was a change. I'm not 100% sure. I do believe there may have been a change. I think Shikawa is still in center, but I thought there was another defensive change. Maybe not. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded on the right side. Over to second. They go to second for one. Back to first. It's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Naito is grounded into it. And he has gone on the backside for out number 3. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the 6th inning. They go unconventional. There was no runs, one hit, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is a 4-1 Lions lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after this timeout. Stay with us. Appreciate you guys for being here on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat here for the Lions in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's Takezawa, Watanabe, and Nevin. As they are enjoying a 4-1 lead here. Get a update on the pitching for the Buffaloes. I do believe they are going in a little deeper into their bullpen, as Kawase had pitched the last half or the last inning. I'll get you caught up on that in a moment. That was the one thing tonight. It's been slow to get information. Right-hander in the ball game. This is number 49. This is Reiko Katayama. The first pitch taken for a called strike. That's a good sign that we got a pitcher throwing strikes right out of the bullpen. 0-1 on the way. Breaking ball misses outside. Count is 1-1. So the fourth pitcher used tonight is Katayama. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball missing down and away. And the count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. So 2-1 here. Takezawa tonight, 1 for 3 and an RBI. He has also struck out. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, chopped over to short. Fielded on the backhand by Kirbayashi. He throws to first. That's going to be a ground out. 6-3 on the putout. He's out for out number 1. That'll bring up the third baseman in Seiya Watanabe. So Harris also says Beto could be a star too. Have to wait and see there. Watanabe stepping to the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He's also drawn a walk. And the pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So the ball's a 1 strike. 4-1 a lead here for the Lions in the bottom half of inning number 6. Crowd is in good spirits. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count now goes to a ball and a strike on Watanabe. The first 3 innings of this ball game moved along at a decent clip. We hit the 4th inning, and the breaks all came out. There's a ground ball chopped up the middle. It's turning into the Kirbayashi show as he moves to his left, fields it, and fires to first. It's a ground out, 6-3. Watanabe gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring Tyler Nevin to the plate. So 2 gone here, and Nevin coming to the dish. He is 1 for 3 in this one. He's got a single and 3 trips. He is struck out looking and flied to center field. Friend Harrison in the house, and I think he said he was again interning for one of the Frontier League teams. I want to know where he was doing his play-by-play. Here comes the pitch. Fastball misses on the outside corner, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Tyler Nevin. So 1 ball and no strikes. That in itself could be entertaining. There's a breaking ball that just misses. It's now 2-0 to Nevin. Marist University Baseball. Marist, are they D3? Here comes the 2-0 pitch. As they're ready to go here, the right-hander works himself to the set, kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses up and in. It's now 3-0 to Nevin, and we're back to the trend. Maybe you get the first 2 outs in the inning and they can't get anybody else. Yeah, it's the New York Boulders of the Frontier League. There's a breaking ball down. It's going to be ball 4. Nevin gets himself a free pass. He moves over to first. Harrison says that Marist is D1. Are they in with Siena? Maybe it's that conference that they're in. Maybe University of Niagara, Canisius, that group. Harrison said the New York Boulders were just up in Ottawa. So runner at first is Nevin. It's going to bring Kojima to the plate. pitch on the way. Breaking ball, take it for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Kojima. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander checks the runner at first, works himself to the set. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball center cut for called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. Kojima's had a nice night tonight. He's 2 for 3. He scored a run. Looks very comfortable at the plate. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. The right-hander again checks the runner over at first. Now he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball, swung on and missed, and Kojima's in the books. He's gone for out number 3. And that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the 6th inning. 2/3 of the game in the books. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. That is 10 stranded so far tonight by the Lions. Looks like they're going to be going to the bullpen, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments because Harrison is going to give us some of all his good stuff about being on the play-by-play for Marist Baseball. That is awesome. Harrison, maybe we'll have to go over to the website and see if we can listen in. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few right after this timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Score is 4-1, top of the 7th inning, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action. Everybody, we have a pitching change. It is going to be number 52. It is going to be Hibiki Shinohara who is taking over, as he is about to be the 4th pitcher used tonight by the Lions. So Shinohara on in relief as he will take over from Shinsuke Sato. It also looks like we have a new catcher, and it's going to be number 22. That is Yuta Koga. He will come in behind the plate to replace Taiga Kojima. So Yuta Koga on in. He's back 3 frames. So I'll have to see if there's any other changes that may not necessarily be a straight-up change, but we'll take a look for that. First pitch delivered to Yuta Mune is a breaking ball that misses outside. Mune is 2 for 2 today. He's got a couple of singles. He's raised his season average up to 261. Batting from the left side here. The pitch on the way is a fastball that misses inside. The count now goes to 2-0 on Mune. So 2 balls and no strikes. Battle of the bullpens started in the 4th inning for both of these teams. Right-hander works to the set position. Here comes the 2-0. Fastball, take it for a called strike. I'm not sure Yuma Mune liked that call. I'm not sure I necessarily cared for it either, the way that ball ran off the outside corner. But my call, it doesn't really matter. It's the home plate umpires, and he says it's a strike, so it must be true. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is. And now stepping off the backside of the rubber is Shinohara, and we're going to go through this all over again. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the right-hander works himself to the set position. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, and it's fouled off right into the catcher, Koga. Welcome to the ball game, Yuta. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a lot safer on the bench. That'll leave a mark for sure. I think he's all set. He's a little bit worse for wear, though. So the right-hander, Shinohara, checks the sign from his catcher, and now he's ready to go back at it again. Pitch on the way. Split figure pitch, swung on and missed, and Mune's in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. Now it is a game of outs. How many fewer outs there are for the Buffaloes, as it is going to bring Kentaro Kobayashi to the plate. So Kobayashi coming into this, he is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that is swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the right field line, and the count is quickly 0 balls and 1 strike. Right-hander again working himself into the set. Here comes the pitch. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. So 0 balls and 2 strikes to Kobayashi. Again, the right-hander Shinohara working out of the set position. Pitch on the way. Fastball fouled away, and the count goes to 1-2. 2 strikes. Right-hander ready to go again, leading in, getting the sign from his catcher. Works himself to the belt. Here comes the 0-2. Pitch on the way. Split finger pitch swung on and shot foul over on the third base side. The count remains a 1-2 to Kobayashi. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Actually, it's 0 balls and 2 strikes. I've got it at 1-2. Maybe we missed one somewhere along the line. There's a split figure pitch swung on and missed. Doesn't matter now. Kobayashi's in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That's one via strikes. It's going to bring up the second baseman into Moya Noguchi. Well, for Noguchi, he is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He had a sac bunt his last time up, and he had struck out in his other appearance. So Shinohara working to the set. Pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in the count 1-0 to Noguchi. So 1 ball and no strikes. Noguchi hitting .204 on the season as the pitch is delivered. It's a fastball missing down, and the count is now 2-0. All professional hitters, but not all professional hitters are alike. I think you want to attack him here. As the right-hander works himself to the set, here's the pitch. Fastball misses outside. It's now gone 3-0 to Noguchi. Scoring updates from around the NPB. It is getting into the deeper parts of the ball games all the way around as the 3-0 ready to come. Pitch on the way from Shinohara. It's a fastball at the knees for a called strike. Now 3-1 to Noguchi. 6-1, and Hawks have the lead in the top of the 7th inning over the Fighters. Also in the in the bottom of the 8th, it's 6-2 Eagles over the Marines. Over in the Central, still 6-0 for the Swallows. They got all their runs in inning number 1. Fastball swung on, popped up on the infield. Other score, 4-3 Carp over the Dragons. That's in the top of the 8th. And that ball is going to be cut by Genda. And that is going to do it for the 3rd out of the inning. Shinohara comes in and makes easy work of the Buffaloes as they go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is our version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you for hanging in with us on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Taiga Hirasawa, Shinya Hasegawa, and Sosuke Genda slated to come to bat here in the bottom half of inning number 7. As that is going to be a part of the batting order that has done some damage tonight for the Lions. They have accounted for 2 of the 4 runs, and they have had 4 of the hits for the Lions tonight in this one. Checking on the Buffaloes, if they are going back to their bullpen again. As we said, it's a little bit slow tonight on how we are getting information, but it is still going to be the right-hander Katayama who is on the hill, and he delivers a first pitch strike at the knees for an 0-1 count. So no balls and 1 strike it is to Hirasawa. Right-hander delivers again. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander kicks and fires. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. I don't know, all of a sudden it seems like the home plate umpire has decided to expand the zone. He looks like he's in a hurry to get out of here now. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. Racing over is Watanabe. He's going to make the catch at his hip. And that is going to retire Hirasawa. He's gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here. It'll bring up the left fielder in Shinya Hasegawa. Well, for Hasegawa, he has had a nice night at the office. He's got a couple of hits tonight, a single and a double. He has driven in a run, and he's also flown out. And the first pitch is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Hasegawa. Hasegawa batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Katayama, who leans in, gets the sign from his catcher. Gets one that he likes. We'll see. This might be a change piece coming here. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. Anticipating maybe something off speed, and it certainly was. So no balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander again works himself to the set position. Here comes the 0-2. Pitch on the way. Split finger pitch swung on and lifted foul into the seats behind home plate, and the count remains at 0-2 to Hasegawa. So no balls and 2 strikes. After this one is done, we'll give you the full roundup from around the NPB, and then we'll put it to rest. And as we said, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow on YouTube. So hopefully you guys can make it back in with us. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. They're going to apply the tag to Hasegawa. He's going to be gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone. It'll bring up the shortstop in Sosuke Genda. Split finger pitch that fell off the end of the earth. So 2 gone here. It's going to bring Genda to the plate. Genda officially 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's got a sacrifice fly and an RBI. Takes a breaking ball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Genda. Right-hander Katayama kicks and delivers. There's a fastball missing up and in. Count now even at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to the shortstop of the Lions. Right-hander Katayama getting his sign, ready to deliver again. Here's the pitch. Fastball just misses off the outside corner. Count now 2-1 to Genda. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander works himself to the set. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. And now we're at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander again working to the set position. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and it is chopped foul behind home plate. Count remains at 2-2 to Genda. I have to say, Genda getting a little bit long in the tooth. He's 30 on the wrong side of 30, but still has some pretty steady game. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the third base line. 2-2 it remains to Genda. A pretty solid relief performance so far here by the reliever Katayama, as he has retired 5 of the 6 batters he has faced so far tonight. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. On the way, fastball misses outside. The count now 3-2 to Genda. Able to keep the hitters off balance and move them around a little bit. Here comes the 3-2 offering as he kicks and delivers. Split finger pitch swung on, grounded softly to second. Noguchi fields it on the run. He throws to first. It's going to be a ground out, and that's going to go in the books as a 4-3 put out for out number 3. And that'll do it here for the Lions in their half of inning number 7. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. Your score as we now move to the top of the 8th inning. It is the Lions with a 4-1 lead. The Lions are going back to their bullpen, and we'll get that for you when we return in just a few. Stay with us, everybody. It is the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. 4-1 for the Lions when we come back after this timeout. It is going to be Hiroshi Kaino, the right-hander, who is coming into the ball game, and we will get that for you, all the specs and all the changes, just after we come back in just a few. Here is our friend Steve.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game, really exciting, lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat to face Kaino here. Wakatsuki, Watanabe, and the top of the order, Nakagawa, in the 8th inning for the Lions in this one. The Lions tonight have got the lead here 4-1. But more importantly, in this one here tonight, the stat line: 4 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. 1-8-1 for the Buffaloes. The Lions have left runners on in every base or every inning, with the exception of the last half inning. They've left 10 runners aboard in this one. I was looking for a while there that there was going to be an Achilles heel for them. That would have been the problem. Looks like we have a pinch hitter here for the Buffaloes, as Wakatsuki's night is going to be over. It's number 38, Ryoto Kita, at the plate. And the first pitch is a breaking ball missing down and in, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Kita. So Wakatsuki's night is over. We'll have to wait to see where Kita will slot into the ballgame, if at all. Here comes the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander delivers. It is a fastball swung on, is grounded over to first. Oh, taken neatly by the first baseman here, Asao. He's going to easily step on the bag. Kita gone on a ground out to 3 for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the center fielder in Haruto Watanabe. Interesting. Watanabe coming to the plate 2 for 2 tonight. He's got a stolen base and an RBI to his name. But what I'm finding curious is the pitching of Kaino here. I didn't know really what to expect. I haven't seen Kaino in a while, and then sometimes I can't always remember what some of these pitchers do. Very short arm action. And that ball gets up in a big-time hurry. There is a first pitch. Fastball taken below the knees for ball 1. 1-0 to Watanabe. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Breaks the bat of Watanabe. It's going to be looped to the shortstop, Genda, who's going to make the catch. And we've got 2 quick outs here. Start the 8th inning, and it's going to bring the top of the order in, Kai Nakagawa, to the plate. I've seen that a few times when the bats have been broken in the Japanese league, and it's been very interesting. Like sometimes you see in North America, they're broken at the handles, or you get like a fracture. This bat here looks like it's cut right in half. And you're left with one piece of the bat that looks like a sword, and the other half is flying somewhere. Or if that's maybe the way they're manufactured, I don't know. Here's the first pitch to Nakagawa. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Nakagawa, rough night at the office tonight, 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and popped out once. Here's the 0-1. Fastball swung on, grounded to the right side, fielded neatly by the second baseman, Takezawa. He throws to first, and that's a pretty quick inning. Ground out 4-3. That'll do it here for the Buffaloes in the 8th inning. They're running out of outs, are the team from Osaka. As by our counts, that would be 8 in a row retired by the Lions pitchers. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. Moving to the bottom of the 8th inning, your score is the Lions with a 4-1 lead over the Buffaloes. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Nishikawa, Canario, and Takezawa to come to bat here. We do have another pitching change as the Buffaloes are going to their bullpen yet again. It is going to be number 98, Ryusi Gonda, who is coming in. So he will take over here as he will be the fifth pitcher used tonight by the Buffaloes. So Ryusi Gonda coming in. Taking over for Reiko Katayama, who did a pretty good job of keeping the Lions in check. He retired 6 of the 7 batters he faced, only allowing 1 walk in his time on the mound. Well, coming to bat here is going to be Manaya Nishikawa, then the top of the order, Alexander Canario and Natsuo Takezawa. As Nishikawa, who is struggled tonight at the plate, he has struck out twice and grounded out. And the first pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander against the left-hander as the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on, grounded right back to the pitcher. Fielded neatly, they throw to first. It's going to be a ground out. 1-3. Oh, he had to walk the ladder, did Naito, as they almost threw the ball away. An easy play that almost became very difficult. So a ground out, 1-3 for the first out of the inning. Will bring up the top of the order in Alexander Canario. Lions have a left-hander up and throwing. And that is going to be number 20, Akua Iwaki. We are expecting to see him to close out the ball game in the 9th. There's a first pitch fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Canario. Check that. We have it's Junichiro Kishi who is in to hit for him here. So Canario's night's done. So Kishi on to hit. Junichiro Kishi takes a breaking ball for a called strike. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kishi as the pitch is on the way. Fastball swung on and it is lifted into left field. Coming in on it and underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch is Nishikawa, and that is going to retire Kishi for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Natsuo Takezawa. Takezawa officially 1 for 4 tonight. He's got a single and an RBI. He has struck out, bounced into a fielder's choice, and grounded to short. It'll be his 5th plate appearance of the evening. So batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Gonda, who delivers a first pitch fastball swung on, and it's popped foul over into the seats. Count is quickly 0-1 to Takezawa. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander working himself to the belt. Gonda now kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. Count now 0-2 to Takezawa. The Buffaloes, well, they're running out of outs. They only got 3 left to play with, and looking ahead to the 9th inning, they'll have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat. So that is now or never for Orix. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, and it is tap foul behind home plate, and the count remains at 0-2. It was a self-defense swing there from Takezawa. I don't think I've seen that in a while, where he's jumping in the air backwards and then swinging to get a little piece of it. So here comes the 0-2 pitch yet again. Gonda kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, and this is fouled away over on the third base side. Count remains at 0-2. So if you've just joined us, well, 4-1 is the scoreline here. There are some other games that are nearing their conclusion. There's a pitch that misses down in the dirt. The count is 1-2. 9-1 now in the bottom of the seventh for the Hawks over the Fighters. Hawks needed that one, that's for sure. Top of the ninth inning, it is 6-5. Eagles are clinging to a lead against the Marines. Marines are coming back in that one. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul. That's going to slice down the left field line. Swallows enjoying a 6-0 lead over the Bay Stars. That is in the bottom of inning number 8. And that is everything for you guys here tonight. So the right-hander kicks, and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away down the left field line, and the count remains at 1-2. So we've got a bit of a battle here going on between the right-hander Gonda and the second baseman and left-handed hitting Takizawa. It's going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Here comes the 1-2 yet again. Gonda kicks and delivers. It is a fastball outside. The appeal over to the third base umpire, and up goes the right hand. And that is going to retire Takizawa for the second out of the inning. Or is it the third out of the inning? Sorry, that's the third out of the inning, and that's going to do it here. We lost track of the outs. We should get fined for that. But seeing that we're not getting paid, it doesn't matter. They go in order to the Lions here in their half of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Thanks for hanging in here with us, everybody. They are going to have a pitching change in just a couple of moments. Lions are going to the bullpen. And we'll be back to see if they can seal the deal here in the top of the 9th when we return right after this timeout.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Hakua Iwaki on the mound here. The left-hander is coming in to try to close this one out for the Lions. He's going to be entrusted to have to face Nishikawa, Mori, and Naito as he has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action here in this one. As we do appreciate everybody who has popped in tonight. You've been here for a short time or for a long time. Hopefully you've been here for a good time. So Iwaki has completed his tune-up tosses. We are ready to resume the action here. He's going to be facing Nishikawa, who is 0 for 3 tonight. He has grounded out twice and flown out to left field in his 3 trips to the plate. So he is ready to go. The left-hander leans in, gets the sign, and he works himself into the set position. And here comes the pitch. Fastball misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Nishikawa. So 1 ball and no strikes. And the lefty works to the set. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball taken just below the knees, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Nishikawa. Buffaloes need some base runners. The Lions definitely need to keep them off the base paths. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. As Iwaki kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on, it's grounded to the left side, fielded on the run by Genda. He throws to first. Oh, what a beautiful pick over there at first base by Hirasawa. As that is going to retire Nishikawa on a ground out 6-3. Wasn't the best of throws by Genda, But the pick over at first base was the icing on the cake on that one. Genda had to go deep into the 6 hole as he threw off balance across the diamond. It was a nice play there by the first baseman Hirasawa to bail his shortstop out. That is going to put one in the books here. Oh, yeah, great play there by the first baseman for sure. That is going to bring Tomoya Mori to the plate. Mori 2 for 3 tonight, couple of singles, and has struck out. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. Mori was gunned down at the plate. A well-executed relay from the Lions, 8-6-2 for the putout. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on, grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by the second baseman, Takazawa. He throws to first, and we got 2 in the books here. Going to leave it all up to Naito. We'll see if it is going to be indeed Naito coming to the plate. Yes, it is. They're going to stay with the youngster. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a double in 3 trips. Naito hitting from the right side here against the lefty Iwaki. As the left-hander delivers. Fastball misses up and in, and the count is 1-0 to Naito. Well, Naito, I have to tell you, getting picked off there after hitting that double, that's got to be disappointing earlier tonight. Fastball misses up. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but they say Naito didn't go. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. Naito is an absolute tank, built like a fire hydrant with arms. Here comes the 2-0. Fastball swung on, popped up in the infield. This should be playable. Oh, no, it's not. It's going to hit the floor as everybody came in after it. Nobody went to cover first base. It was the first baseman who came flying over. Almost had a collision between 4 players behind there. Unbelievable. Ball drops in. It's going to be ruled as a single. Nobody touched it for the potential error. Not sure what Genda or the second baseman Takazawa were doing. Genda actually started back into the outfield, but it was the corners who came racing in. Very strange. And the Buffaloes have life. That's going to bring up the third baseman in Yuma Mune. And we do have a pinch runner as Hiranuma has come in to run for Naito. Well, Mune tonight has had a pretty decent night at the office. He's got a couple of singles and 3 trips. He's also struck out. The tying run is now on deck, and you definitely don't want to get to that spot. The first pitch is a breaking ball missing upstairs. Count is 1-0 to Mune. Mune has pulled his average up to 259 on the season with the 2 hits tonight. He's also been caught stealing as well, and was gunned down at the plate on a fielder's choice back in the 5th inning. There was a fastball that just misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. I'm not sure what the home plate umpire is doing. Looked like he was expanding the zone a couple innings ago, and now he's shrinking it back down again. So 2 balls and no strikes. Again, the left-hander Iwaki getting the sign from his catcher, Yuta Koga. Here comes the 2-0. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Grounded up the middle into center field for a base hit. Stopping at second is going to be the runner, Hiranuma. Safe over at first is Mune with his 3rd hit of the night. And that's going to bring the tying run to the plate in Kitaro Kobayashi. So the first 2 outs of the inning came pretty quick. And now back-to-back singles from Naito and Mune has brought the pitching coach out of the dugout to come out and talk to Iwaki here. So you've gone from let's get the 3rd out and get out of the ball game to now you got the tying run at the plate. And Kitaro Kobayashi's got pop in the stick. He's got 4 homers on the year. He's 1 for 3 tonight. This is the one that you want to try to finish off right here. So if you are a fan of the Lions, you're biting your nails. If you're the fan of the Buffaloes, well, got nothing to lose. And if you're a fan of the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, they coughed up a 6-2 lead late. The Marines now have a 7-6 lead in the top of the ninth inning. Ouch. So this brings Kotaro Kobayashi to the plate, looking to tie the game with one swing of the bat. Iwaki works to the set position. He checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. That pitch was way outside, and Kobayashi was guessing. It looked like he wanted to put that one into the seats. So no balls and one strike to him. The Lions fans are in good vibe as they are on their feet trying to will their club to victory. So no balls and one strike as the lefty works himself into the set position. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and now the count is 0-2. So now the Buffaloes, who are down to their final out, are now down to their final strike. As Iwaki trying to finish it off here for the Lions. As he gets the sign from his catcher, he's ready to go back at it again. Lefty delivers. It's a fastball missing way upstairs, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Kobayashi. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the left-hander working himself into the set position. Here comes the pitch. On the way, breaking ball, swung on and missed. They're going to have to throw down to first. They do, and that is going to be it for this one here tonight. Kobayashi down on strikes, 2-3 on the putout. He's gone for out number 3, and that'll do it for the Buffaloes here in inning number 9. And no runs in the inning, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left aboard. Your final score in Takarazawa, it is a 4-1 victory for the Lions. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back to wrap it up for you here in just a couple of moments. And then we'll do everything around the NPB as well. Your final score is 4-1, and we'll be back in just a few right after this timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll give you the rundown of this one here. As the final score, 4-1 here for the Saitama Seibu Lions. Lions opened up the scoring in the second inning with 1 out. Shinya Hasegawa singled, then Sosuke Genda singled. After Manaya Nishikawa struck out, it was Alexander Canario stepping up to the plate, and he delivered a RBI single, bringing home Hasegawa with the first run of the game. In the fourth inning, they added to their lead to the Lions, and they did it with 2 out. It was a single off the bat of Alexander Canario. He stole second. Went to third on the throwing error by the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. And then he was brought home on an RBI single off the bat of Natsuo Takazawa. That gave a 2-0 lead for the Saitama Seibu Lions. The Buffaloes responded in their top half of the fifth inning. It was a single to lead it off by Mune, and then it was Kobayashi singling. Tomoya Noguchi got up and had a sacrifice bunt. Then Kenya Wakatsuki Bounced into a fielder's choice. They were able to gun down Mune at the plate. That put runners to the corners. Up stepped Haruto Watanabe, and he delivered a base hit single, which was his 8th RBI of the year. That cut the lead to 2-1, but the Lions answered right back with 2 of their own in the bottom of the 5th. A single off the bat of Kojima, a walk to Hirasawa. Up stepped Shinya Hasegawa. He doubled home Kojima with the 3rd run of the ball game, and then Sosuke Genda stepped up, hit a sacrifice fly to left to bring home the 4th run in Hirasawa, and that is your final 4-1 in this one. And once again, everybody, we appreciate you for listening in. We'll give you the quick recap of what we see around the NPB tonight, and then we're calling it a night. Other games in the Pacific League, 9-1 in the top of the 8th inning. The Hawks have a lead over the Fighters. 7-6 in the top of the 9th between the Marines and the Eagles. It was a comeback, a blown 6-2 lead by the Eagles, and the Marines are now enjoying that one in front. Over the Central League, it is 5-3 for the Carp over the Dragons. That is in the bottom of the 9th inning. Also in the bottom of the 9th, the Swallows 6-0 up on the Bay Stars. They scored 6 in the first. Did the Swallows in that one? I got to double check that. That is for certain. And then it's been a bunch of zeros ever since by both teams. And then the game that'll go off in about 45 minutes time at the Tokyo Dome, it is the Tigers and the Giants in that one. And that will be it for tonight. Once again, everybody, we appreciate you guys for hanging in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow night. Same 2 teams, same place. Hopefully you guys can make it back in. The final score again, Lions 4, Buffaloes 1. Have a great night, everybody.
All I